Today is August 10th, 2026. My name is Charles Suter, and today I'm going to present the art of compromise. My main message: to resolve any interpersonal dispute, apply the art of compromise, which I'm going to be presenting. The art of the deal, which I'm probably sure you've heard of, is mainly transactional and focused on financial or more material outcomes between parties who may not have an ongoing relationship. Oftentimes, information is withheld to gain an advantage, and the goal of each party is simply to secure the best deal for themselves. In contrast, the art of compromise applies to close, recurring relationships such as spouses, families, friends, colleagues, and supervisors, where preserving a harmonious relationship matters more than winning. These disagreements are more behavioral rather than financial, and open, honest communication is essential for reaching a compromise. Proposition 1, as I've already said, open, honest communication is essential for resolving a disagreement between people in a close relationship. The initial emphasis is finding common ground based upon shared values such as honesty, good intentions, fairness, respect, etc., etc. But the most important shared value is the desire to preserve the relationship. Each party to the disagreement must freely express their values and their interests. All parties, as I said previously, must agree that maintaining the relationship is the primary goal. Without that, you are in the art of the deal type of a negotiation. The issue or issues should be clearly defined with specific examples, and the scope should be kept narrow enough as possible to avoid overwhelming the discussion. If multiple issues exist, they could be addressed separately if they're sufficiently independent. Each sub-issue to a disagreement, because there may be some dimensions or elements to each issue, should be identified so both sides understand specifically what behaviors in each case needs resolution. Proposition 2. Explore and define the important issues. As I said before, define and limit the scope and boundaries of the disagreement so it's not open-ended. You want to reach a resolution fairly quickly. Define specific issues with concrete examples to promote understanding. Then each party must state their desired outcome on each issue, and if there's any deal breakers, they should be discussed up front. For each issue or sub-issue, all parties should describe a range of outcomes from worst to best from their individual perspective. Now, clear examples lead to better understanding and create more room for compromise. Each issue should be decomposed into separate sub-issues if practical, so that all parties might get something of value by dividing wins and losses on each of the sub-issues. And all the sub-issues should be ranked by importance by each party separately. That way everyone knows what's important and how important is it. As part of the discussion, if any agreements to any sub-issue are reached as you go through the discourse of the process, they can be set aside as common ground so that you can focus on the most important sub-issues and the areas where the outcome preferences differ most widely. Ideally, a good compromise gives each party what matters most, even if none of the parties gets everything they desired. Proposition 3. Now's the time to discuss the issues and sub-issues and arrive at mutual understanding. You have to understand where the other person is coming from so you know how to address their concerns, because there may be concerns that are not yet fully expressed. Define the most important issues and the resolution that each party prefers. The parties must agree on the definition of the issues, sub-issues, and positions. Once you reach full understanding, then the parties can go into problem-solving mode. Stay solution focused and continue to seek common ground and agreements. Some agreements involve just a single issue that oftentimes can't be broken into degrees of behavioral change. Party or a couple wants to go to a movie and they can't agree on which one. That's a single issue without any way to decompose that one. So it's either one way or the other way, or they pick a third choice that they can both agree on. In those cases, one party may get their way this time and the other party receive priority next time. But ideally, issues can be divided into sub-issues and negotiated proportionally so that everyone gets something of value in the compromise. I'm going to give you an example. A workaholic father who has been neglecting his family may not be able to change his workload or his job or his career immediately, but understands the problem enough that he wants to find a resolution to satisfy his family through open discussion. Now, the family can seek a best accommodation, such as identifying key times when the father's presence is most important. There, a shared calendar becomes a workable short-term compromise. Now, I want to leave you with my final message. Preserving the relationship is always the most important issue. The art of compromise provides a structured way to resolve disagreements in close relationships. By defining the issues and sub-issues, identifying possible solutions, and negotiating behavioral changes based on what each party values most, every party can reach a resolution that protects the relationship. Now, I'm going to offer further presentations that will explain how to maximize desired outcomes for even more complex disagreements with multiple issues, multiple sub-issues, and multiple parties within the framework of the art of compromise. But that's all for now. Remember to stay positive, you'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.